The sun begins its slow descent, casting long amber shadows across the hallway as you move through the quiet sanctuary of your home. You are perhaps carrying a cup of tea, lost in the rhythmic pulse of a digital screen or the mundane mental checklist of a Tuesday evening. Then it happens. With the silent precision of a shadow detaching itself from the wall, your cat appears. They do not run past you. They do not weave through your legs in a frantic dance. Instead, they plant themselves firmly in the center of the corridor, a tiny fur-clad monolith that brings your world to a grinding halt. You step left, and with a calculated mirror movement, they shift left. You attempt to bypass them on the right, yet they are already there, eyes locked onto yours with an intensity that borders on the philosophical. In this moment, the domestic space is transformed into a high-stakes checkpoint, and your cat has assumed the role of the ultimate arbiter of passage. To the casual observer, this is merely an inconvenience, a quirk of a pet that hasn't quite mastered the etiquette of the hallway. But to the feline behaviorist and the observant house philosopher, this is a sophisticated display of evolutionary signaling. Your cat is not blocking your path by accident. They are engaging in a complex form of nonverbal communication that reaches back through millennia of solitary hunting and territorial management. When a feline occupies a doorway or a narrow passage, they are utilizing the architecture of your home as a tactical advantage. In the wild, choke points are the most valuable pieces of real estate in any territory because they allow a single individual to monitor and control the movement of all other inhabitants. By standing in your way, your cat is effectively declaring their status as the sentinel of the threshold, a role that combines the duty of a guardian with the strategic mind of an apex predator. This behavior is rooted in the inner circle of feline social dynamics, where space is the primary currency. While humans use words to establish boundaries, cats use their physical presence to claim ownership of the floor beneath your feet. When they sit perfectly still in a high-traffic area, they are stating, "This zone belongs to me." However, this is rarely an act of true aggression. Rather, it is a testament to the profound connection they share with you. A cat does not block the path of a stranger or a threat. They only perform this ritual for those they consider part of their intimate family unit. It is a sign that you are a central figure in their territorial kingdom, someone worth monitoring, interacting with, and, at times, controlling. Furthermore, we must consider the attention shortcut. Cats are masters of cause and effect, possessing a cognitive map that tracks which behaviors yield the highest emotional or physical rewards. If planting themselves in front of you causes you to stop, look down, and speak to them, they have successfully manipulated the environment to achieve instant affection. It is their version of a digital notification, a tactile ping in an increasingly distracted world that says, "I exist. Look at me." They recognize that while you may be preoccupied with the complexities of human life, their physical presence is an undeniable force that compels you to re-enter the present moment. In these instances, the path block is an invitation to intimacy, a request for a scratch behind the ears or a warm greeting that reaffirms the bond between the giant human and the small, watchful guardian. As we peel back the layers of this behavior, we see that the cat is also acting as a sentry. In the wild, cats are both predator and prey, a dual nature that makes them hyper-aware of their surroundings at all times. By blocking your path, particularly when you are moving toward a dark room or an unfamiliar area of the house, they may be acting out of a deep-seated protective instinct. They see themselves as part of a collective unit, and by positioning themselves in front of you, they are essentially taking the point position in a patrol, ensuring that the way forward is safe for their larger, perhaps less observant companion. It is a quirky, subtle display of love that transforms a simple hallway into a protected corridor. Whether they are seeking a warm sunbeam that happens to fall across the threshold, or are intentionally herding you toward the kitchen for a scheduled meal, every block is a data point in the story of your shared life. To truly understand the feline obsession with our walking paths, we must delve into the biology of trust and the rhythmic synchronization of the domestic environment. While the initial act of blocking may seem like a simple bid for attention, the physiological mechanisms at play are far more profound. Cats are crepuscular creatures, biologically wired to be most active during the liminal hours of dawn and dusk. During these windows, their sensory systems are heightened to an extraordinary degree. A cat's whiskers, or vibrissae, can detect minute changes in airflow as you move through a room, and their ears can rotate 180 degrees to track the sound of your heartbeat from several feet away. When they plant themselves in your path, they are often engaging in a midnight ritual of security and scent blending. In the feline world, physical proximity is the ultimate form of social currency. When your cat weaves through your legs or stands directly in your trajectory, they are often initiating a process known as allogrooming or scent swapping. By rubbing their cheeks or tail against your shins, they are depositing pheromones from specialized scent glands. This is not merely a sign of affection, it is a vital biological function that creates a communal scent within the home. By blocking your path, they force a physical interaction that ensures you remain marked as a safe and familiar member of their pride. It is an invisible leash of chemistry that reinforces the boundaries of their territorial kingdom. Beyond scent, we must address the herding instinct that often manifests during these stationary confrontations. For many cats, you are not just a companion, you are a resource that needs to be guided. This behavior is most prominent during mealtimes, where the cat uses silence and stealth to direct your movement toward the kitchen. They are not simply being pushy, they are acting as the domestic manager of routine. Because cats are creatures of extreme consistency, they view the feeding schedule as a cornerstone of their security. If they perceive a delay, they will use their bodies as physical barriers to course correct your behavior, herding you back toward the food bowl with the precision of a sheepdog. However, the biology of trust also includes a darker, more complex element: the testing of boundaries and the assertion of social control. In a multi-cat household, the individual who occupies the choke point, the narrow hallway or the specific doorway, is often the one asserting a higher social standing. When your cat blocks your path and refuses to move, even as you shuffle left and right, They are conducting a subtle experiment in power dynamics. They are observing how you, the giant human, adapt to their presence. If you consistently step around them or hesitate, you are inadvertently acknowledging their right to control that specific piece of real estate. This passive-aggressive occupancy is a vital part of feline social structure, allowing them to feel a sense of agency and mastery over their environment. Yet, we cannot ignore the simpler, more mammalian drivers behind this behavior, such as the warm spot obsession. A cat's internal body temperature is higher than a human's, and their metabolic energy is often preserved for the short, intense bursts of a hunter. This makes them biological heat seekers. If a patch of floor in your main walkway happens to be heated by an underfloor pipe, a radiator, or a perfectly placed sunbeam, your cat will prioritize that thermal resource over your need for a clear passage. In their eyes, the hallway is not a transit zone. It is a primary thermal destination. Ultimately, the act of blocking your path is an expression of micro-wakefulness. Even when they appear to be dozing in your way, they are often in a state of high alert observation. From their vantage point on the floor, they are monitoring the perimeter of the room, watching for imaginary prey or dust bunnies, and performing their self-appointed duty as the household's nocturnal security. They are the sentries of the night, and their presence in your path is a reminder that while you may sleep, the guardian of the house is always on duty, watching over the family unit with a vigilance that is as ancient as it is devoted. When we look down at the small, steadfast figure standing in our way, we are witnessing the legacy of a connection that spans thousands of years. This act of blocking the path is far more than a feline quirk. It is a profound testament to the cat's fragile yet devoted heart. While their wild ancestors were solitary creatures of the desert, the domestic cat has evolved to become a house philosopher that views the human companion as the center of their social gravity. By stopping you in your tracks, they are insisting on a moment of shared existence, reminding us that in the frantic pace of our modern lives, there is always time to acknowledge the quiet, watchful presence of a friend. Every time they plant themselves in a doorway or weave through your legs, they are reaffirming a bond built on trust, protection, and a deep-seated need for intimacy. They don't block the paths of strangers. They only offer this inconvenience to those they love. It is a sign that you matter, that your movement through the house is something worth monitoring and celebrating. As we learn to speak their language, we realize that these furry traffic controllers are simply trying to navigate the complexities of love in a world that often moves too fast. The next time you find your passage barred by your little guardian, take a breath and recognize the compliment for what it is. Whether they are seeking a scrap of attention, guarding your perimeter, or simply inviting you into their world of warmth and sunlight, remember that you are the chosen recipient of their most sincere communication. This enduring bond of trust is a rare and beautiful thing, a bridge between two different species built on a foundation of mutual respect and silent understanding. If you've enjoyed decoding these feline mysteries with us, please like this video, share your own path-blocking stories in the comments, and subscribe to Cute Cat Class for more secrets behind the whiskers. Because here, we don't just love cats, we honor the deep ancestral connection that makes every shared hallway a sanctuary.